Curtis Mayfield is not only a rare double inductee, but also offers a two-for-one musical experience. A fusion of sharp social commentary with irresistibly danceable grooves. He stands as a hero of the movement, delivering socially conscious lyrics that addressed racial issues in America. Anthems like Keep On Pushing played a crucial role in fostering a sense of purpose and unity among civil rights campaigners. The impact of his music extended to being the most sung piece on Freedom Rider buses during the movement. Despite his significant contributions, Mayfield's life was marred by tragic circumstances, notably the life-changing accident that befell him. In this video, we will explore all the details from his earlier to his personal life. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. Early days. Curtis Lee Mayfield was born on June 3, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, to Marion Washington and Kenneth Mayfield. His father abandoned the family when Mayfield was 5 years old. Mayfield's family moved a lot before settling in the city's Cabrini Green public housing project when he was a teenager. At home, his mother played gospel records, listened to popular music on the radio, and taught her son to play piano at an early age. At his grandmother's storefront church, Mayfield heard different styles of gospel music performed and joined the Northern Jubilee Gospel Singers, a gospel vocal quintet, at age 7. Mayfield taught himself how to play guitar, and by instinct he tuned the guitar to the black keys of the piano. The result was a distinctive open F-sharp tuning, F-sharp, A-sharp, C-sharp, F-sharp, A-sharp, F-sharp, which he used throughout his career. The Impressions. Mayfield sang in various short-lived gospel groups before deciding to leave high school after the 10th grade to fully concentrate on his music career. He joined forces with the Roosters, a vocal group hailing from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the group subsequently changed their name to The Impressions. In 1958, The Impressions inked their first record contract with a VJ Records subsidiary and recorded their inaugural single, For Your Precious Love, which remarkably sold 150,000 copies within 2 weeks. At just 16 years old, Mayfield and The Impressions achieved a significant milestone by selling out New York's Apollo Theater in Harlem for a week. While The Impressions faced challenges in replicating the success of their debut, they disbanded after VJ chose not to renew their contract. During the group's hiatus, former Impression Jerry Butler invited Mayfield to join him as a guitarist on a sold-out tour. Throughout this period, Mayfield continued to write and co-write songs for both Butler and The Impressions. Frustrated by the meager earnings from his songs, Mayfield took matters into his own hands and established his music publishing business, Curtom, in 1960. By 1961, Mayfield had reorganized The Impressions, and they secured a 5-year contract with ABC Paramount, marking the beginning of a prolific partnership that yielded 22 hit singles and 12 successful albums on the rhythm and blues charts. Despite their triumphs, internal tensions within the band led to various lineup changes. However, even with the departure of 2 members, The Impressions persisted, continuing to release albums and achieve hits like Keep On Pushing and People Get Ready as a trio. During this period, Mayfield's lyrics took on a more politically and culturally conscious tone, with songs such as We're a Winner, Choice of Colors, Mighty Mighty, Spade and Whitey, and People Get Ready becoming synonymous with the civil rights movement. Solo career. Following the conclusion of The Impressions contract with ABC Paramount, Mayfield expanded Curtom into a record company in 1968. His debut solo album, titled Curtis, was released in 1970. Coinciding with the final Impressions album featuring his vocals titled Check Out Your Mind. Mayfield left the group to focus on his solo endeavors and producing other Curtom artists. In 1972, Mayfield achieved significant success with the release of the soundtrack to the blaxploitation film Superfly. This soundtrack became his most notable commercial and critical triumph, selling over 1 million copies and receiving 4 Grammy Award nominations. The popular songs from Superfly, including Freddy's Dead, Pusher Man, and Superfly, portrayed the destructive aspects of drug use, countering the film's glamorization of drugs and criminal activities associated with the illegal drug trade. The success of Superfly marked the beginning of a series of soundtrack recordings that continued until the decline of Curtom Records in the late 1970s and 1980s. During this period, Mayfield played a pivotal role in composing and producing albums for prominent artists such as Aretha Franklin, the Staple Singers, and Gladys Knight and the Pips. Moved to Atlanta. Experiencing a decline in record sales, Mayfield made a significant move in 1980 by relocating Curtom from Chicago to Atlanta. By 1990, he successfully relaunched his record label, engaged in collaborations with rap artists, and unveiled 2 new solo albums. However, tragedy struck during a performance in the same year when a lighting tower collapsed on Mayfield as he took the stage amidst a powerful windstorm. The incident left him quadriplegic, forcing him into years of retirement. Despite the challenges, Mayfield managed to release his final album, New World Order, in 1996. This album featured notable guest appearances by Aretha Franklin and Mavis Staples and garnered 3 Grammy nominations. Who is his wife? Althida Mayfield, the wife of Curtis. Mayfield maintained a private life with limited information available to the public. After her husband's passing in 1999, she took on the responsibility of preserving his legacy and ensuring that future generations recognize his significant contributions to the world. The Curtis Mayfield Foundation, established for the purpose of providing music education to under-resourced youth, stands as a testament to their commitment to this cause. The couple faced a severe test when Curtis Mayfield became paralyzed from the neck down due to an accident at a 1990 Brooklyn concert. Despite this challenging situation, Mayfield displayed resilience and determination, recording the entire New World Order album while lying on his back, line by line. In the aftermath of her husband, Althida has been actively involved in addressing issues related to his estate. Despite the appointment of his manager, Marv Hyman, as the executor of his will, Althida Mayfield contends that Hyman has, in less than 4 years, significantly harmed the Mayfield family trust by allegedly appropriating millions in fees for himself. Concurrently, Althida asserts that Hyman has caused numerous tax-related issues for both her and the children. The complaint asserts that Marv Hyman acquired copyrights for $5.4 million, distributing $65,000 to each of the 8 heirs, which included 2 additional Mayfield children not initially listed. However, Hyman awarded himself a significantly higher amount, totaling $540,000, equating to a 10% commission. Furthermore, the complaint alleges that Hyman received extra commissions in 2000 and 2001, totaling $380,000 from other publishing deals. This accumulates Hyman's total commissions to $920,000 over a 2-year period. In addition to commissions, Hyman reportedly acquired over $350,000 in office expenses and more than $500,000 in management fees from the Mayfield Trust since Curtis Mayfield's passing 4 years ago. Althida Mayfield also accuses Hyman of investing her money in Metropolitan Health Networks, a Florida-based company, without disclosing his role as an officer and his relatives' ownership. Hyman, purportedly a director of the company, purchased 5,000 shares as an insider in 2001, but resigned a little over a year later. Metropolitan Health Networks is reportedly under investigation by the State Attorney General in Wilmington, Delaware. It is essential to note that Hyman was a 30% partner with Curtis Mayfield in his businesses for 3 decades before Mayfield's death. In reissued Curtis Mayfield albums overseen by Hyman, he credited himself in the album notes as a contractor. Who are his children? Mayfield's decision to move to Atlanta was partly driven by his desire to prioritize spending time with his extensive family. He was a father to a total of 10 children, 2 from his initial marriage to Helen Mayfield, an additional 2 from a relationship with Diane, and a further 6 from his union with Althea Mayfield. Mayfield demonstrated a strong commitment to his roles as both a devoted father and husband. However, his past was not without its shadows. As detailed by his son Todd Mayfield in the book Traveling Soul: The Life of Curtis Mayfield, Todd candidly portrayed his father as a man grappling with infidelity and emotional unavailability in many of his romantic relationships. Todd also revealed that his father had a history of physical abuse, describing it as a puzzling manifestation of vulnerability. Despite these challenges, Mayfield was notably non-abusive towards his own children. He actively engaged with them, organizing road trips and putting in considerable effort to foster connections among his 10 children, even though they had different mothers. Another of the singer's sons, Chia Mayfield, provided a different perspective, characterizing his father as a relatively ordinary parent. He emphasized that his children were largely unaware of their father's celebrity status during their upbringing. It wasn't until later in life that Chia grasped the extensive impact of his father's musical influence, his tragic health and death. Mayfield suffered a serious accident in August 1990. While performing at an outdoor concert in New York, a lighting rig collapsed on him, damaging his spine and leaving him a quadriplegic. This particular year, it was clear that a storm was brewing. Winds were whipping up, and a downpour seemed imminent. Markowitz, however, was determined that the concert go ahead and that Mayfield, being the star attraction, took the stage as soon as possible. Fearing the downpour was imminent and that the crowd would scatter thereafter, Markowitz took to the stage during Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes set and made an impromptu announcement. Witness reports from the Times say that Markowitz announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've decided that we're going to bring up Curtis Mayfield," adding, "I'm thrilled," before he was cut short as a rapid gust of wind caused the speaker row to creak. He continued with the introduction, and as Curtis Mayfield gingerly stepped out onto the stage, a second gust of wind, stated in reports as being 54 mph, rattled the lighting trusses loose. One of the lighting rigs struck Mayfield forcefully on the back of the neck, knocking him to the floor, and a further 6 others were injured by toppling equipment, including a 12-year-old girl. It is believed that Mayfield's life was saved by his bandmate Lee Goodness's bass drum, which took the brunt of the blow. The 48-year-old soul star was taken to Kings County Hospital in a critical but stable condition, having suffered head and neck injuries. The Times contacted Mayfield's son, Todd Mayfield, shortly after the incident, and he attributed the accident to gross negligence. "It's so tragic. I still can't believe this has happened," he told the Times. "We are at a loss for words," adding, "Right now he is paralyzed from the neck down, but we're hoping that when the swelling goes down, he'll be able to regain some movement in his body." Markowitz made a statement of his own via United Press International, announcing, "As Mayfield was ready to come on stage, an overwhelming wind hit us and blew the speakers off the stage and the lighting trusses down. Some of it hit Mr. Mayfield. Mr. Mayfield looked pretty bad. We hope he will be fine." This was supposed to have been a comeback concert for him. Shortly afterwards, however, doctors at the Kings County Hospital confirmed that his back had been broken in 3 places, and he would not be able to walk or play the guitar ever again. While his recovery was a treacherous one, he still managed to craft one last masterpiece, and his monolithic struggles towards it typified his approach to music. In the interim years, Mayfield suffered through diabetes, which eventually led to having a leg amputation in 1998. He struggled with muscular atrophy and urinary tract infections, and he was plagued by a rare condition known as phantom limb, whereby he would feel sensations such as itching and pain, where there was actually no sensation possible. As if to compound the disaster, while building work converted his house, a fire broke out and destroyed a priceless collection catalog of songs housed in the star's basement. Was there any chance of a full recovery? Following Curtis Mayfield's life-altering accident, his son Todd Mayfield attributed the disaster to gross negligence on the part of the concert organizer. "It's so tragic," he told the Los Angeles Times the day after the incident. "I still can't believe this has happened. We are at a loss for words." Rushed into surgery, there were hopes that the paralysis would only be temporary, with Curtis potentially making a full recovery. "Right now, he is paralyzed from the neck down, but we're hoping that when the swelling goes down, he'll be able to regain some movement in his body," Todd said of his father. Sadly, that wasn't the case. Despite all of this suffering, Mayfield lived with the same sanguine energy that his music basked audiences with throughout his gilded career. On September 27th, having been forced to record his vocal takes lying down, he released his final masterpiece, New World Order. The record transfigured his pain into a profound elucidation of the importance of finding salvation in darkness. It was a poignant soul classic that simultaneously offers escapism and realism in equal measure. In short, it did what Mayfield always set out to do: offer up some painless preaching. Mayfield died from complications arising from type 2 diabetes, which also led to the amputation of his right leg in 1998. The musician was widely celebrated in the final decade of his life, however, being awarded both the Legend Award and the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame both as a solo artist and as a member of the Impressions. Legacy. Curtis Mayfield is remembered for his classic recording with the Impressions, his introduction of social consciousness into R&B, and for pioneering the funk style in the 1970s. Several of his recordings with the Impressions became anthems of the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and his most famous album, Superfly, is regarded as an all-time great that virtually invented a new style of modern black music. It holds the number 69 spot on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums. Mayfield's distinctive riffs influenced the development of funk. He is also regarded as influencing other landmark albums, like Herbie Hancock's Headhunters. He is highly regarded for his numerous innovations in the 1960s and 70s and for his unique style of music. In 2004, Rolling Stone magazine ranked Mayfield number 99 on its list of the 100 greatest artists of all time. Contemporary Jamaican music was profoundly influenced by Curtis Mayfield's body of work. The Techniques, the Uniques, Bob Marley, and the Wailers, and many other early vocal groups in Jamaica were deeply influenced by the songwriting, vocal harmonies, and black consciousness, which were the hallmarks on Impressions recordings from the early to mid-1960s. Many of the Wailers' early ska recordings are Impressions covers. One of Marley's most well-known songs, One Love, Studio One 1965, is reworking of Mayfield's gospel soul classic, People Get Ready. Mayfield received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1995. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on March 15, 1999. Unfortunately, health reasons prevented him from attending the ceremony, which included fellow inductees Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, Dusty Springfield, George Martin, and label mates the Staples Singers. As a member of the Impressions, Mayfield was posthumously inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2003. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you stay updated on our future videos. See you in the next one.